Criminals without identity involved in women's repression and government to ensure exemplary punishment for them, says Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. 2 women scientists win Nobel Chemistry Prize for inventing gene editing tool. Assalamu alaikum. You're watching News at 10 on BTV, BTV World and BTV Chattogram Center. I'm Nuzhat Sharmin welcoming you all. You just heard the headlines. Now we'll move on to news in details. The higher secondary certificate, HSC, and its equivalent examinations would not be held this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Education Minister Dr. Deepu Moni said this while addressing an online press conference today. The Education Minister said HSC candidates would be evaluated by averaging the results of their JSC and SSC examinations. She said the results would be announced within December.
COVID-19 পরিস্থিতি কখন স্বাভাবিক হবে, কখন পরীক্ষা নেবার মতো অনুকূল পরিবেশ হবে এর কোনো নিশ্চয়তা নেই। যখন পরীক্ষা আমরা শুরু করলাম তখন যদি কোনো পরীক্ষার্থী কোভিডে আক্রান্ত হয় কিংবা যখন পরীক্ষা নেওয়া শুরু হচ্ছে তখন পরীক্ষার্থী আক্রান্ত কিংবা তার পরিবারের কেউ আক্রান্ত, তাহলেই বা সেই পরীক্ষার্থী কি হবে? আমাদের পরীক্ষার্থীদের এবং সংশ্লিষ্ট আরো সকলের জীবনের নিরাপত্তা অত্যন্ত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। সে কারণে আমরা পরীক্ষার্থী, অভিভাবক, শিক্ষক, পরীক্ষার সঙ্গে সংশ্লিষ্ট আমাদের ব্যবস্থাপক, গণমাধ্যম, সুশীল সমাজ সহ বিভিন্ন অংশীজনের সঙ্গে আমরা যে আমাদের আলাপ আলোচনা হয়েছে তার উপর ভিত্তি করে আমরা 2020 সালের এইচএসসি পরীক্ষা সরাসরি গ্রহণ না করে একটু ভিন্ন পদ্ধতিতে মূল্যায়নের আমরা সিদ্ধান্ত গ্রহণ করেছি। আমরা এখন যেটি সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছি সেটি হলো যে আমাদের এর আগে আমাদের কাছে 2টি পাবলিক পরীক্ষা, আমাদের যারা এইচএসসি পরীক্ষার্থী তারা প্রত্যেকেই 2টি পাবলিক পরীক্ষা অতিক্রম করে এসেছে, জেএসসি এবং এসএসসি। সেই 2টি পরীক্ষায় তাদের যে ফলাফল সেটির গড় অনুযায়ী আমরা এই এইচএসসি তে তাদের ফলাফল নির্ধারণ করবার কথা আমরা সিদ্ধান্ত নিয়েছি।
The Cabinet has declared March 7 as Historic Day instead of the National Historic Day in a bid to observe the day nationally and internationally, commemorating the historic speech of Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The announcement came from the weekly Cabinet meeting held virtually with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in the chair today. The Prime Minister joined the meeting through a video conference from her official residence, Ganabhavan, while other Cabinet members remained connected from the Secretariat. Bangabandhu's historic March 7 speech was actually the source of inspiration for the country's independence and the 1971 Liberation War. Later, the country's people from all stages spontaneously joined the Liberation War in line with the guidelines given in the historic speech. The historic day also has importance in the international arena as UNESCO included the March 7 speech of Bangabandhu in the memory of the World Register. All the ministries, departments, offices, agencies will celebrate and implement March 7 as Historic Day through their respective programs. The day will be included in the A category. There will be no holiday on this day. The Cabinet gave final approval to the draft of the Iodized Salt Act 2020, keeping provisions of 1 to 3 years of imprisonment or fine of 50,000 to 15 lakh taka if anyone imports, produces, markets or stocks salt without registration. At the meeting, the Health Service Division briefed the Cabinet about the latest update over the COVID-19 vaccine. It was informed that the government has kept aside an amount of 600 crore taka under a project to procure the COVID-19 vaccine. After the meeting, Cabinet Secretary Khondokar Anwarul Islam briefed the reporters at the Secretariat. He said the Cabinet was also informed about the target of the incumbent government about the Vision 2041 implementation, Bangladesh Perspective Plan 2021 and 2041, where a draft proposal was set with the 4 baselines: good governance, democratization, decentralization and skills development. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has called for ensuring $100 billion a year for developing countries to save them from climate change impacts as she placed a 4-point proposal including establishing climate justice at a virtual Climate Vulnerable Leaders event. The Prime Minister said this while addressing the virtual Climate Vulnerable Forum CVF Leaders event from her official residence Ganapabon this evening. As the current president of the CVF, she chaired the event, which was hosted by Bangladesh along with Global Center on Adaptation. The Prime Minister said it is today
not only honor their national contributions under the Paris Agreement, they also need to substantially increase their ambitions. The idea of climate justice must be established for the sake of climate and the planet. More vigorous provision of finance must be ensured by the major economies, MDGs and IFIs, along with access to technology. Take bold action to address and mainstream the issue of loss and damage. In our war against nature, we will only lose. All our actions manifest that we are consciously destroying the very support systems that are keeping us alive. So, the time to take action to save the planet is not tomorrow, but today.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, Chair of GCA Ban Ki-moon, heads of state and government of the CVF countries spoke at the function. Thematic Ambassador of Climate Vulnerable Forum CVF and Prime Minister's daughter Saima Wajid Hussain also spoke at the CVF Leaders event. She urged world leaders to take coordinated efforts to minimize the sufferings of victims of climate change.
On individuals and families that are affected by disasters that are caused due to climate change. For instance, a single extreme cyclone has been shown to increase the prevalence of mental health issues in the general population by 4%, whether they were directly impacted by the cyclone or not. And for those who are additionally vulnerable due to chronic physical or mental health conditions, living in extreme poverty, being dependent on others to help communicate their needs, those who cannot access relief assistance because of challenges in mobility, those who are marginalized because of their gender or sexual preferences, and even those who are marginalized due to their religious and ethnic identities, the stakes are even higher for them. A single natural disaster can tailspin into a situation for which they may never fully recover without the right kind of support mechanisms.
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said the emergence of Bangladesh, its independence and self-identity of the Bengali nation are closely linked with the life of father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. The Prime Minister said this while unveiling the wrapping of the Braille version of unfinished memoirs of Bangabandhu at her official residence, Ganapabon. Social Welfare Ministry published the Braille version of the book in 6 parts. She said, this book contains the history of his struggle from the language movement to the independence of the country, and anyone can get many information from this book. Sheikh Hasina said the history of language movement and struggle for independence was distorted after the assassination of the father of the nation, and the name of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman was erased from everywhere. She said, after publishing this book, the nation got slight relief from the distortion of history.
যারা এটা পড়েছে তাদের কাছে এটা অত্যন্ত গ্রহণযোগ্য আর ৭৫ জাতির পিতাকে হত্যার পর বাংলাদেশের যে স্বাধীনতা সংগ্রামের ইতিহাস আমাদের ভাষা আন্দোলনের ইতিহাস সেগুলি যে বিকৃত করা হয়েছিল, বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবের নাম সব জায়গা থেকে মুছে ফেলা হয়েছিল। এই বই প্রকাশ হওয়ার পর অন্তত সেই ইতিহাস বিকৃতির হাত থেকে আমরা কিছুটা রক্ষা পাই। জাতির পিতার জীবনী, তার সঙ্গে বাংলাদেশের অভ্যুত্থান, আমরা বাঙালি জাতি হিসেবে আমাদের আত্মপরিচয়, আমরা যে একটা স্বাধীন জাতি আজ হতে পেরেছি, এই ইতিহাস জানার একটা সুযোগ রয়ে গেছে এই সব প্রকাশের মাধ্যমে। আমাদের যারা দৃষ্টি প্রতিবন্ধী, আজকে এই ব্রেইলে বই প্রকাশ করার ফলে আমি মনে করব যে আমাদের সমাজের একটা মূল্যবান গোষ্ঠী যারা পড়াশোনা করছে তারাও ইতিহাসটা জানার সুযোগ পাবে। 6 খণ্ডে এই বইটি তৈরি করা হয়েছে ব্রেইলে। আমি মনে করি যে বিভিন্ন লাইব্রেরিতে যেটা রাখা যায়, যেখানে বিশেষ করে আমাদের দৃষ্টি প্রতিবন্ধীরা সেটা সংগ্রহ করতে পারবে, পড়তে পারবে।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is scheduled to inaugurate the Itna Mitamoy Nostogram all-weather road tomorrow. She will inaugurate it through a video conference from her official residence, Ganabhavan, in the morning. The government has built a 47-kilometer high and 35-kilometer submersible road under the Road and Highways Department, involving 1,268 crore taka. The road has 22 bridges and 104 culverts, and 5 ferries have been introduced. Officials say the road will be connected to Sylhet-Brahmanbaria Road in the future, and a plan has been taken to build a flyover on it. Chairman of Bangladesh Judicial Service Commission, Justice Hassan Faiz Siddiqui, submitted the annual report 2019 of the Commission to President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan this evening. Members of the Commission, Justice Mohammad Nozrul Islam Talukdar and Justice Shohidul Karim, were present. Later, President's Press Secretary Jainal Abidin told that during the meeting, the Chairman of Judicial Service Commission apprised the President of various aspects of the report and activities of the Commission. President Mohammad Abdul Hamid said the appointment of judges in the lower courts is very important to expedite the judicial process. The President expressed satisfaction over the activities of the Judicial Service Commission and hoped that the Commission would select the competent candidates and take steps to recruit in shortest possible time. During the meeting, President's Office Secretary Shamput Borua, Military Secretary Major General S.M. Shamimuzzaman and Secretary attached to the President's Office Muhammad Wahidul Islam Khan were also present. Later, newly appointed Ambassador of Bangladesh to Uzbekistan, Mohammad Jahangir Alam, paid a courtesy call on President Mohammad Abdul Hamid at Bongo Bhavan. The President said the relation of Bangladesh with Uzbekistan is excellent. President Abdul Hamid asked the new envoy to work for strengthening bilateral relations, including increasing trade and investment during his tenure. During the meeting, the newly appointed Bangladesh ambassador sought the President's cooperation in discharging his duties. Secretaries to the President were present. Road Transport and Bridges Minister and Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir has said rapists will not be punished in a minimum way, they will be given maximum punishment. He said this at a view exchange meeting with the officials of Roads and Highways Department at Tejgaon in Dhaka this morning. Awami League General Secretary said to tell a lie and do ill against the government is BNP's daily diary. Mentioning fault at design of Dhaka-Chattogram Highway and Sawar-Nobinagar 4-lane road, the minister directed to take action against the responsible persons. He also ordered officials concerned to maintain transparency in the quality of work and to prevent wastage of government funds.
বিএনপি নেতারা অভিযোগ করছেন দেশে নাকি গণতন্ত্র নেই। আমরা বলতে চাই, প্রতিদিন গণমাধ্যমে সরকারের বিরুদ্ধে ফিয়েস্টায় তারা বিষোদ্গার করছে। গণতন্ত্র না থাকলে মির্জা ফখরুল সাহেবরা এভাবে অবিরাম মিথ্যাচার করতে কি পারতেন? বিএনপি দলীয় লোকরা যে অপরাধ, যে সন্ত্রাস করেছে, ধর্ষণ করেছে, বিচার কি হয়েছে একটিরও? তাদের মুখে দোষ পড়ে। তাদের দলে কাউকে কি এজন্য জেলে যেতে হচ্ছে? গণতন্ত্র আছে বলেই তারা সরকারের সমালোচনা করতে পারছেন। নারীর প্রতি সহিংসতা, নারীর অবমাননা, মাদক, সাইবার অপরাধ, গুজব ছড়ানো, এসব নষ্ট রুচির অপরাধীদের কঠোর শাস্তির পাশাপাশি তাদের আশ্রয় প্রশ্রয় দেওয়ারও ছাড় দেওয়া যাবে না। যে সকল অপরাধী বা ধর্ষক এ সকল ঘৃণিত কাজ করছে তাদের জন্য শাস্তি শেষ কথা নয়, তারা যদি কোনো রাজনৈতিক দলের ছায়ায় থাকে তাহলে তাদেরকে চিরতরে তাদের রাজনীতি নিষিদ্ধ করতে হবে। এদেরকে ছোটখাটো লঘুদণ্ড দিয়ে লাভ নেই। সর্বোচ্চ বিচারের যে দাবি আমার মনে হয় এটা অযৌক্তিক নয়।
Later, the Road Transport and Bridges Minister planted tree saplings at Roads and Highways Department building premises. Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said those who are involved in violence against women do not belong to any party. They are miscreants. The government is taking exemplary actions against them, but BNP is trying to politicize it. Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood urged BNP to look at themselves in the mirror before commenting on the matter. He made the remarks after a view exchange meeting with the leaders of Broadcast Journalists Centre at his Secretariat office today.
এই ধর্ষকরা কোনো দলের নয়, ওরা কোনো দলীয় পরিচয় ব্যবহার করার অপচেষ্টা চালালো, সেটি আওয়ামী লীগ হোক, বিএনপি হোক বা অন্য দল হোক। সেই ক্ষেত্রে আমি মনে করি এদের দলীয় পরিচয় ব্যবহার করার অপচেষ্টা থাকতে পারে, কিন্তু তারা সবাই দুষ্কৃতিকারী এবং সরকার তাদেরকে দুষ্কৃতিকারী হিসাবেই দেখছে এবং প্রত্যেকটি ঘটনার বিচার হচ্ছে এবং কঠোর দৃষ্টান্তমূলক শাস্তি দিতে সরকার বদ্ধপরিকর। মির্জা ফখরুল ইসলাম আলমগীর সাহেব যেই দলের মহাসচিব, সেই দল অতীতে কি করেছে, কিভাবে 8 বছরের শিশু, অন্তঃসত্ত্বা মহিলা এবং পুরো গ্রাম অবরুদ্ধ করে নৌকায় ভোট দেওয়ার অপরাধে শিশুদের ধর্ষণ করেছে, সেই দলের মহাসচিব হিসাবে যখন তিনি এই কথা বলেন তখন আসলে তার আগে তার আয়নায় নিজের চেহারাটা দেখা প্রয়োজন।
The Information Minister said at the start of the corona pandemic, many people thought country's economy would go into recession. But the country's economic growth is the highest in Asia due to strong and dynamic leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
করোনা যখন শুরু হয় তখন অনেকে আশঙ্কা করেছিল আমাদের অর্থনীতি খাদের কিনারে চলে যাবে, রেমিটেন্স কমে যাবে, আমাদের এক্সপোর্ট কমে যাবে, আমাদের অর্থনীতিতে একটা বিরাট বিপর্যয় হবে। কিন্তু মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রী জননেত্রী শেখ হাসিনার গতিশীল নেতৃত্বের কারণে, মহান আল্লাহ রাব্বুল আলামিনের স্রষ্টার কৃপায় আমাদের অর্থনীতিতে সেটি হয়নি। জুলাই থেকে সেপ্টেম্বর এই বছরের এক্সপোর্ট ছিল 9.9 বিলিয়ন, যেটি গত বছরের তুলনায় গ্রোথ রেট হচ্ছে 2.58% বেশি। এই বছরের জুলাই থেকে সেপ্টেম্বর মাসে রেমিটেন্স এসছে $6.71 বিলিয়ন USD এবং সেটি গ্রোথ রেট হচ্ছে গত বছরের তুলনায় 48.5%। 8 বিলিয়নের বেশি আমাদের ফরেন কারেন্সি রিজার্ভ বেড়েছে গত বছরের তুলনায়, আর করোনা না থাকলে তো অবশ্যই সেটি বেশি হতো।
Chief Information Officer Shrut Kumar Sarkar, Broadcast Journalists Centre President Rizwanul Haq and General Secretary Shakil Ahmed were present among others. 35 COVID-19 patients died in the last 24 hours in the country, increasing the death toll from the pandemic to 5,440. The recovery count rose to 286,631 after 1,798 recovered during the period. A press release of the Directorate General of Health Services said today. It said the tally of infection has surged to 3,73,151, with 1,520 new cases being confirmed. Now international news. COVID-19 global death toll crosses 10,56,000 with more than 3,61,33,000 infected. On the other hand, more than 2,72,13,000 people have recovered so far. The US, the current epicenter of the pandemic, now has 77,24,207 confirmed cases and 2,15,849 deaths. India, which is in the second spot in the list of nations worst hit by coronavirus, now has about 67,57,131 confirmed cases and 1,04,591 deaths. In Brazil, the total death toll from COVID-19 is 1,47,571, while 49,70,953 people were infected. Two scientists have been awarded the 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for developing the tools to edit DNA. French scientists Emmanuelle Charpentier and Jennifer Doudna from the USA are the first two women to share the prize, which honors their work on the technology of genome editing. The Nobel Committee says their discovery is a way of making specific and precise changes to the DNA contained in living cells. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden said that next week's scheduled debate with Republican President Donald Trump should not take place if Trump is still infected with COVID-19. Biden said the October 15 debate in Miami should only be staged under strict health guidelines and called the coronavirus outbreak that has hit Trump and a wave of other White House officials a very serious problem. Asked about Biden's comments, Trump campaign spokesman Tim Murtaugh said President Trump will be healthy and will be there. There's no getting out of this one for Biden, and his protectors in the media can't cover him. After days of conflicting messages from doctors and aides about his condition, Donald Trump returned to the White House on Monday after 3 nights at a hospital. Now news on sports. Kolkata Knight Riders set a victory target of 168 runs for Chennai Super Kings in IPL today in Abu Dhabi. Earlier, Kolkata Knight Riders won the toss and decided to bat first. Kolkata scored 167 runs for all in their stipulated 20 overs. Rahul Tripathi scored 81 runs for Kolkata. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. This year's HSC and equivalent exams not to be held, as assessment will be made on basis of performance in JSC and SSC exams of individual students, announces Education Minister. Cabinet decides to declare Day of Bangabandhu's 7th March address as Historic Day and include in core list Category A for observance at national and international levels. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at CVF Leaders event urges world leaders to take prompt action to protect world from climate impact. Braille edition of the Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's unfinished autobiography unveiled. Nation spared from distortion of history through publication of unfinished autobiography, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Rapists to be subjected to no other punishment than Capital 1, says Obaidul Qadir. Criminals without identity involved in women's repression and government to ensure exemplary punishment for them, says Information Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood. 2 women scientists win Nobel Chemistry Prize for inventing gene editing tool. That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you